Welcome to Chaparral High School. I attended this high school during my freshman year. I had the skills necessary to enter a high school and do very well. Unfortunately, I was proven wrong. Very wrong. The reason being was that I didn't fit into this high school lifestyle, meaning that the school was enormous. I went from a school with a few hundred students in it to a high school with a few thousand students in it. Even though I was trying very hard and doing my very best was just not good enough. I was failing my English class in which we were learning Greek mythology. I just didn't have the English skills necessary to even understand what the teacher was teaching. I was struggling in my work in the cafeteria. I was struggling in my classes. I was failing some classes. I was not doing very well in the tennis team because I didn't have the skills necessary or the years necessary to be able to hold my ground. I was discouraged, but the only thing keeping me from giving up was being on the tennis team. And I was not going to squander that opportunity. I loved the coach. He was like my father. He was understanding and kind. But unlike my father, this man made us work. He made us work hard. Before even going on the court, he would ask us to run 1 mile, some days 2 miles, and then we would have sprints after practice. No matter what he asked us to do, I did it because I wanted to be on the team. I wanted to be coached by this man, and I was hungry to win. I brought up my grades without the help of a tutor, without the help of any teachers. I just did what I could to be on the team, and I remained on the team during my 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. Early on, what I discovered was that, yes, I didn't have the skills necessary to win too many games like everybody else on the team. But what I did have was speed. Even though I was very small and I weighed less than 100 pounds, I was, for the most part, on most days, I was the fastest on the team, no matter if we did sprints or we did a mile or 2 miles. I could run fast, and I used that to my advantage. My skills did not improve that year until I invited my 7th and 8th grade tennis coach from K.O. Knutson. When she came here and she watched me play, I thought I did very well. And after I finished the set and I had won the set, I walked off the court and she saw me. She was with my coach. She said, "You're not playing the way you're supposed to. You are flat-footed." And she critiqued me so bad. I believe it was that day that my skills as a tennis player on this team improved. I was no longer on my feet. I was never standing around. I was never watching the opponent. I was always moving and moving and moving. Now I had speed, I had movement, and I had very good reaction time. Yeah, I didn't have the strength. I didn't have a lot of skills, but I was learning. As I was learning, I was applying everything I was learning to my speed and to my reaction time and to my movement. And that helped me to win matches. Welcome to Las Vegas High School. After I finished my freshman year at Chaparral High School and not doing very well in my English class and passing the year with a very low grade point average, my family asked me to attend a summer school, and Las Vegas High School was offering an English class, and it happened to be a 10th grade English class. Wonderful things happened in this high school during that summer. The first one being that I was introduced to 2 books that we read from cover to cover. Number 1 was Of Mice and Men, and number 2 was Animal Farm. Poetry was a new field for me, and in this class, I was introduced to poetry. We read poems, and we were asked to write one of our own. The assignment was to be as creative as possible, which made me feel welcomed, and it helped me to get in touch with my creative side, I believe for the first time, as a writer. And it was not only a positive experience, it was the most incredible assignment that allowed me to feel that I had the creative genius necessary to write a piece of poetry, to write a poem that was mine, it was about me, and it was about my life. I never knew what a play was, how it was written, how it was composed and performed. Well, in this school, during that summer, I had the most fun learning because our teacher was a young teacher, and she was very energetic. She wanted her students to succeed at the highest level using their own creative genius. So we read a play. We were asked to write our own play, compose the play, perform the play in front of other students. Even though I finished my freshman year at Chaparral High School, struggling to pass and to stay on the team, that summer, this high school provided me with the skills necessary to go into 10th grade with confidence. Towards the end of my freshman year at Chaparral High School, I filled out an application to attend this particular school. This high school was known as VOTEC, then it was known as Southern Nevada Vocational Technical Center, and now it's known as SECTA. When I filled out the application for this particular school, they were accepting only students from 10th grade on. When I was filling out the application to attend VOTEC, I did not have the grades necessary to be able to even have a chance. However, I had a goal. My goal was that I will attend VOTEC and I will study automotive technology. During the last hour of the last day before the deadline ended, I came here to VOTEC and I handed my application to 2 ladies. They were sitting outside of the front door of the school. I had the biggest smile on my face, and I felt that I belonged here. I needed to be here. Well, sure enough, a few weeks later, I received a letter in the mail that said, "Congratulations, you have been accepted." Now, at Chaparral High School, I couldn't see myself graduating. When I handed in my application to attend VOTEC, I knew that I would graduate. During my first year, I did not learn automotive technology, but I did learn marine mechanics, which was learning how to fix boats and jet skis and such. That was a lot of fun. And one of the opportunities I had was that I became a historian for a club known as Vocational Industrial Clubs of America. During my first year at Votech High School, I would walk from Votech to Chaparral High School to play tennis. Because we started an hour earlier than Chaparral High School, our classes were dismissed 1 hour earlier as well. So I had an hour to walk from Votech to Chaparral High School, and that was 4 miles, or just about 4 miles. I would get to Chaparral High School, change, and then run 1 to 2 miles on the track, and then we would play tennis. But if we had games at home or away, then we didn't have to run miles around the track. It was just game time. For, I believe, many weeks, I walked from Votech to Chaparral High School until I talked to one of the bus drivers. And I asked her, can you please drop me off anywhere near Chaparral High School, and then I will walk the rest. She said, well, I'm going that way, so I'll just drop you off right at Chaparral High School. Before going to my 11th grade year, my counselor called me. She said, you have the opportunity to graduate high school as a junior. Would you like to do that? Without even thinking, I said, yes, I would. Of course, with automotive technology, I also had to take another profession, which was air conditioning. They called it HVAC, and a late bird class. So I took all of these classes. I believe I had 7 classes altogether as an 11th grader. I was also taking classes with the seniors, and the opportunities were here as well to make me a better leader. I was the president of Vocational Industrial Clubs of America. I was a representative of our school. We would go to other schools, middle schools, and try to recruit students for our school. Along with these responsibilities, I was also the vice president and president of many other clubs around school. So my 10th grade and certainly 11th grade year was spent being a leader, being a student who was graduating a year early, and looking forward to going to college as well. So I had too many responsibilities along with being on the tennis team. It was challenging enough to be a student at Votech, but to have all of these responsibilities and leadership roles, that was on a whole different level. I don't remember my last year because that went by that fast. It seemed like a day, but I do remember enjoying every single second of it. This school provided me with opportunities that I would have never dreamed of. I remember my teachers telling me to stay 1 more year, my classmates telling me to stay 1 more year, my high school coach at Chaparral High School almost begging me to stay 1 more year and enjoy my senior year. But my mind was made up. I just didn't need to be here 1 more year. I didn't think that 1 more year could help me anymore. And I believed that I had reached the very peak of my academic career, and I needed to find a different path. And that path was to graduate from this high school and attend college. This high school provided me with opportunities beyond my wildest dreams. I learned to be a leader in this school. I learned to be responsible. I learned to be a better student. I am so grateful that I attended a high school such as this. I am so grateful to have the most incredible teachers who taught me. And during my college career, I came back several times just to talk to my teachers and just to let them know that I was attending college. And they were proud of me every time they heard that I was in a new semester in college. I was taking more classes. I was more focused. They seemed more proud, and they offered me advice, which was keep going. When I was going through my student teaching, I worked with one of the art teachers in this high school. She was gracious enough to let me teach classes while I was doing my student teaching. And what fun that was. It brings back a lot of wonderful memories for me. And I am so happy to see how much this school has grown from a tiny little building to this enormity. They have a baseball field and basketball courts and so much as I look around. And I am so proud to be a student of this high school. And yes, if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't change a thing. I would not stay here for one more year, because the skills that I learned, I applied it to college, to university, and to my life. And I am here because of the skills that I learned in this high school. And I am so grateful. And if I could do it again, I couldn't do it again. Because everything that I wanted to accomplish was accomplished. Years after graduating, I did go back to Chaparral High School as a teacher, as a substitute teacher, to say thank you for providing me with the coach and the team and the challenges necessary to be the man that I am today. Thank you so much. And I returned to Las Vegas High School as a substitute as well. Again, to say thank you for introducing me to books that I would have never read otherwise, to poetry, to creativity, to reading, writing, and watching plays, and to learn the skills necessary to survive in this world. And how? Using creativity, using my imagination. And I am forever grateful to this high school that had the teacher who taught us the most amazing things with a smile, with energy and positivity.